Have we been lied to about how Christianity began? People sometimes claim that there were up to 80 Gospels, all giving us different pictures of Jesus. The 4 in the Bible were chosen for political reasons.
Well, the claim that there were 80 or more Gospels floating around, viable Gospels reaching back to the 1st and 2nd century, from which someone like Emperor Constantine made selections, is really quite silly, and no responsible scholar thinks that for a moment. We only know of the 4 New Testament Gospels from the 1st century. There may have been another Gospel or 2, perhaps, in the 1st century, but this is all we have. This is all we know of. And even the other Gospels that some scholars take seriously, such as the Gospel of Thomas or the Gospel of Peter, even there we only have a few that scholars take seriously that we even know about. Where this number 80 comes from, I don't know. Maybe if we counted everything that everybody wrote on into the Middle Ages, we might get a number like that.
I think 80 is an overestimation, no matter how you slice it. There's a document from, the 4th or 5th century that tries to list all the Gospels known, and I think they came up with maybe 34 or 36. But you have to keep in mind that many of these were written quite late. It's often said by scholars that Gospels were, one scholar said, breeding like rabbits in the early period and so forth. We have 9 fragments of non-canonical Gospels that have been discovered from the period before the 4th century. And one of the impressive things about the evidence is what the archaeologists have brought up, because it's been claimed for many years that the better attestation of the 4 Gospels, the canonical Gospels, is simply due to the Church preserving all these documents and preserving the authors they wanted. And these Gospels are quoted because these are the Gospels that authors like Irenaeus and Tertullian and Origen particularly wanted. But the interesting thing about the archaeological evidence is that we've uncovered a lot of materials now from before the 4th century, before Constantine. And all these have made it into the ground before Constantine, before there was a state-sponsored church. And right now there are about 39 or 40 copies of the Gospel, the 4 Gospels, one or more of the 4 Gospels that we know about, as opposed to 9 or so of the non-canonical ones, if you add them all up.
I find it interesting that some claim that Orthodox Christian faith emerged centuries later, and it was all about certain ecclesiastical leaders who in the end prevailed, and therefore we lost all sorts of other diverse Christianities and Christian faiths from the 1st century and 2nd century that just simply disappeared. But there's something very misleading about that claim. We have a variety of Christian faith and expression and theology in the New Testament, and that is what prevailed. That is what was early, what was apostolic, what had credible links to Jesus himself, expressed in a variety of ways for different audiences. That's what we have in the New Testament. That's what prevailed. What died out, what did not prevail, were some innovative new ideas in the 2nd and 3rd centuries and beyond. And in my view, church leaders rightly reacted against these new ideas by appealing to the early 1st century apostolic writings.
The claim that there were 80 Gospels is another misleading claim that doesn't stand up to being examined. The 4 Gospels in the Bible were widely accepted right from the beginning, and only these 4. They were accepted because they were early and because they contained reliable testimony about Jesus. Next time, we'll look at the claim that the Gospels in the Bible were chosen by the Roman Emperor Constantine in the 4th century.